Okay, hello everybody, welcome to TìandTarot, or welcome back to TìandTarot if you've been here before. So today's reading, because my house flooded, so I'm actually going to be doing it for you, not in my regular space, which is why I might be a bit whispery, because I don't really want people to hear me, but I wanted to make sure that you guys still got your February predictions. So that's what we're doing today. So it's going to be a little bit different to like the usual way I would do this. Today we have 3 piles for you for this pick a pile reading. And to pick your pile, you essentially choose the one you feel most intuitively drawn to, either because of the energy of the pile, the number of the pile, or the numbers in the timestamps below, or the zodiacs in the timestamps below, or because of the crystal or object on top. So for pile 1, we have 2 pieces of hematite. For pile 2, we have a smoky quartz egg. And for pile 3, we have a purple labradorite crystal. Once you have picked your pile, there will be a timestamp in the description box below for you to find your reading more easily, and I will meet you there. Bye. Okay, hello pile 1, welcome to your reading. So you chose the hematite, which I'm just going to slide over there. And let's get into your oracle cards for January. So, firstly you have the river. Journey, flow, surrender. Trust your journey and go with the flow. Did I say January again? I meant February. It's because I'm filming this in January. But this is your February predictions. And you have the number 2 here as well, which is always about connections, collaboration. And then, interestingly, for your next oracle card, of course, we're again getting connections, collaboration, a pairing, you know, intimacy. So I can definitely see that on the cards for you in February. That doesn't have to be romantic intimacy, but it can definitely just be you collaborating and being more harmonious with your life and with others in your life. But it can also be romantic, and we are strongly sort of getting a romantic vibe here. So, you can pause the video to read this if you like. I'll hold it up so you can actually get a better look at that. But essentially these are dream cards, so they're about your dreams, but I take like key messages I see in them for your reading as well. But yeah, very strongly we are getting a romantic connection with you and somebody else for February as well. Or maybe a few romantic connections. So I think for February, because we do have healthy and appropriate boundaries here, you are going to be stepping up for yourself much more, especially when we have go with the flow of the river. Like, if obstacles come in your way, you're going to flow away from them. You know, you're not going to, like, this river isn't going over these sort of humps in the road. They're going down the route that flows best for them, that fits them perfectly. And so if there's ever a situation that doesn't bode well with you, or doesn't feel good or right and isn't really what you're looking for, you're not going to try and make it work and like push through it because things are difficult, because that's ridiculous. You're gonna go for whatever fits you best, of course, and you're going to be setting very clear boundaries for yourself as well. I think you're also going to be kind of analysing what it is that brings you joy in February and trying to go after that. You're going to be finding what your true passion is and what really drives you and motivates you, and what it is you actually want to do with most of your time. You're going to be finding your kind of true life's purpose in February, I think, or at least little pieces of it for sure. Okay, so I have these tarot cards here. I've already shuffled them, but I can shuffle them again just so you know for sure that I have. But what I'm going to do differently this time is I'm just going to pull one from the top every time I have a question, instead of kind of continuously shuffling. So, alright. So firstly, I want to ask about your career and if there's anything important you need to know about that for February. So we have the Ten of Swords here. All is well. So I think when we're getting like the Ten of Swords, I am getting a positive energy for your career, especially in terms of your ideas with where you want to go. So we're coming back to kind of finding your purpose in life and the thing that makes you passionate. I think you're going to be feeling very inspired in February, and you're going to be figuring out what it is you actually really enjoy doing, and you might even be applying that, like it might actually be happening for you in February. So one side of the coin is kind of figuring out what it is you want to do, but then the other side is that actually coming together to create something for you. And so I'm kind of getting the vibe here that you're going to be enjoying your career trajectory, and potentially the job that you're in right now, you might be enjoying that as well. Either way, you're going to feel excited about your future and the plans that you have for it as well. Because the Ten of Swords is also about endings, so with endings comes like new beginnings, new opportunities, and that's why I think you're getting this opportunity to really consider what it is you want to do and what you feel passionate about, and then to go after that, because something is coming to an end, and that could be the way that you previously looked at your job or your career. That could be coming to an end, but something isn't fitting with you anymore, which is why you need to flow down your path, your designed path, because something wasn't working before. If you were trying to, you know, flow up this, you know, curve here, because this is water and the water is you're the river here, that's not going to work. You know, that's not how gravity works. It's not natural. So you're finding your natural fit, especially in terms of your career, but you're finding your natural fit in life as well, and in relationships. And that can be relationships with your job, with your career. It can also be relationships with people as well, but you're finding your natural flow, your natural rhythm, instead of going against what feels natural and comfortable for you. And that could be because of a potential ending somewhere in your job, your career, or in the way that you perceive it, because this is all about the mind and your thoughts as well. So it could also just be the way that you're looking at this situation has changed. The way you're looking at your job and your career has changed. Okay, so now I want to ask about any of your side projects that you might be working on, or side hustles or things like that. These don't have to be things that you're going after monetarily. It can also just be like hobbies you're interested in that you spend a lot of time doing, and any information around that. Oh, okay, so we have the Four of Pentacles. So I'll just slide that over a little bit and put this one here. I feel like there might be something you want to do as just like a hobby or as a side hustle. You know, you don't have to, you know, put the two together, but there's something you're interested in doing that you're kind of holding yourself back from, maybe through fear of, you know, maybe not being good at it, or whatever the reason is. You're just, I'm getting a reclusive vibe. I'm getting a vibe of you wanting to stay away from the thing that you want to do. For some reason you put like restrictions on the things you enjoy. That could be because of like an underlying feeling of like you thinking you don't deserve it, but either way, I'm just kind of getting the feeling like there's something you really want to enjoy that for whatever reason you haven't been doing. And this card is saying get out there and do it, because you actually have all the capabilities to do it. You have all the tools, all the resources, all the inner wisdom to be really successful at this thing that you're interested in. So you are being urged to go after it, because it will be, if it's something you want to make money from as well, it will be fruitful, because this is the Four of Pentacles. And I also think you'll find a lot of people who are willing to help you along the way to reach your goal. Just like kind generosity from others will find its way to you as well. That's also kind of the energy that I'm getting. Okay. Now let's ask about relationships, because clearly that's important for you. Wow. So again, we're getting that juxtaposition with the Chariot here again of two, because we've got the two horses, and it is interesting because these are white horses as well. And white horses are often symbols of success, particularly in love and like romance and things like that, because it's always like the knight on the white horse, you know. So that is quite interesting. I do feel a heavy romantic energy for February for you. And it's whatever it is happening quickly, because of course this is the Chariot. And whatever it is, you're quite ambitious towards it as well. It's something you are looking forward to and something that you want to actively do. So I can see someone or some people potentially coming in for you very quickly, which might not be something you expect, but I feel like you might be letting some sort of barrier down, especially with finally realizing your passion. Stop restricting yourself, going with the flow. Some sort of barrier is dropping in February that was up, some sort of wall that was preventing you from entering into this like new phase of your life. But for whatever reason, that barrier is coming down in February, which is letting people in. I think whatever partnership this is, whatever it is, whether it's like a full-on like long-term partnership, whether it's like a fling or whatever, or it could not, it, you know, it might not be any of those things, because you might personally just not want those things, and that's absolutely fine. It can also be more of a mindset, and again, as I said, like a harmony between you and your life. But I'm getting the energy that this will be very successful, and you're going to be much more confident. I feel like confidence is a big key here, but I don't know whether it's because maybe confidence is intimidating to one or both of you or the other, or if it's that you need confidence in this situation, or that it will build your confidence. But either way, I do feel like a sense of empowerment and a strong sense of success coming from your love life for February, in whatever way that success looks like to you in love. For some of you, that can even be staying single and not dating, and that's success for you. So whatever way success looks for you in dating, that is coming through for you with the Chariot. I feel like there's something you want badly. And if you really want it, it will come true, because you will be ambitious enough to put the effort in to get that thing, whatever it is. So yeah, that's also what I was getting. So let's take a look at your personal life, just in general for February, your general life. So we've got the Page of Pentacles here. So you're definitely starting something new, which is going to affect your finances for sure. There is some sort of new opportunity and new beginning, and this was your career card as well. There's something brand new that's coming in for you. There's an opportunity that's kind of come in, which is helping you turn a completely new page in a way that is very different from the life you've lived so far. So you might not have lived a very financially secure, stable life in the past, but that's definitely coming in for you now. I mean, beginnings with the Page, beginnings can be a little bit rocky, like they're not the most stable foundation. It's more like the thing you're just starting from. So say if you wanted to like plant a seed of like a flower, obviously you have to be really delicate with it, and you have to make sure the soil's right, and that you're watering it right, and that the humidity's right. So it's a very unstable, like delicate situation. But the more you put into it, the more effort you put in, and the more strategic you are about how to grow that seed, the stronger it will become as it grows, and then you don't have to worry so much about those things. So you're definitely building a really strong foundation for yourself in terms of your finances and in terms of your career, and in general in your life as well, especially with this complete change of the way you're going about things. Instead of trying to push through the hard times, you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna cut the hard times out, let me set boundaries, and let me just go with the flow. And it's, hard parts of life, like difficulties, are unavoidable, but it's more about your attitude and your energy around it, and trying to see the silver lining in certain situations as well can actually pick you up in such a massive way. And it is really invaluable to kind of have that strong sense of like go-getter energy, and like you just want to see the positive in this. That can be like negative sometimes if like you're overly positive all the time. It's not about that. Obviously, flow and balance is about accepting both. So accepting when you're feeling positive, accepting when you're feeling low, and going with the flow and letting those emotions pass through you. So you're setting a completely new foundation with how you're approaching life in general, which is opening new doors for you in everything, in terms of the way that you enjoy life and find your passions, and connect with others and go after the things you want in terms of everything, but also in terms of your career. It's setting a completely new foundation for yourself in a way that is really lovely, because like with the river, with you being the water, you know, see how it like moves around the stones and around the weeds. Like it accepts those things. It doesn't like wash over them and destroy them. It accepts those things. So there will be like ups and downs, and you're just going to go with the flow and like move around it for this month. But mostly lots of ups, because these are very successful cards all around. So lots of ups, but a lot of balance and harmony is what I'm seeing as well, because of the river. Okay. I just want to see if there are any last messages for you. We have drama starter here, which is interesting. I'm not sure if that is the difficulties that I was talking about, because obviously there are things you'll have to move past and set boundaries with. So it could be that there are people who try to make a spectacle out of you and your life and your situation. And it can also be like an ex as well. But that might be the thing where you're setting boundaries and trying to move around and go with the flow and kind of block that out, and accept the way things go. Yeah. So you're not going to let people rain on your parade if people are trying to kind of bring you down. Because the thing is as well, it can even be the way that you talk to yourself when you should be feeling happy, or when you try and feel happiness. But I'm seeing a complete change in the way that you approach your emotions, your internal, your thoughts, your feelings. Because as well, we've kind of got the hermit mode vibe from the Four of Pentacles. You're doing a complete flip of your internal inventory. Like you're completely changing the way that you view the world and interact with it for February. Yep. And we're getting dusted off. That's amazing. So basically the way that I'm seeing that is two things. So first of all, here with like the hobbies and restraining yourself and feeling like you can't do it, but this card is an indication that you fully have all the resources and capabilities to do it. So I feel like there is something you're really, really skilled at that you love, that you maybe put in the past, and it's time to bring it out and bring it to the forefront and apply yourself to it, because that's the key to like your happiness and your enjoyment. And it's also you dusting off your ability to feel happiness and to enjoy your hobbies and to go after what it is you want, because for a long time you might not have felt that way. You might have felt like over time you've lost a lot of the hobbies you used to love and enjoy, or you've lost the passion and energy to do those things. You're now going to feel that energy coming back to you. You're going to feel empowered again to do the things that you loved to do in the past, and you're going to start doing them now. But I'm also seeing dust it off as like when you do hit any sort of hiccups, any sort of, you know, downs with the ups, you're gonna pick yourself back up, dust yourself off and keep going. Like I feel like you're gonna handle things so well. You're gonna be so incredibly emotionally mature for this month as well. There's gonna be a lot of progress for you in terms of your maturity and your harmony with your life as well. So that is what I see for you, pile one. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, because it really helps the channel out. If you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Okay, hello my pile twos, welcome to your reading. So this is all about your February predictions, and you chose the Smoky quartz egg. Okay, so we're going to get into your oracle cards first. And this is kind of laying the foundations for how February is going to go for you. But firstly, you have lake, contemplation, peace, meditation, slow down and be still. This is kind of similar to pile 1 because pile 1 had a river, but yeah, if you were drawn there, maybe check that out. But yeah, we've got 34 here, which can be turned into 7, which can also be related to the Chariot, which again we had in pile 1, so very interesting. But straight away I'm kind of getting the impression that this is going to be a very introverted month for you, and you're going to be kind of going internally and doing a lot of internal reflection and internal work to kind of stay grounded and stay really at peace and, you know, unbothered by drama and people who are like trying to get to you, or situations that bring you down, or negative things you see in the news. Like, you're going to be working on yourself to kind of feel more at peace even in such like a difficult place. You also have this card here, which I'll hold up to the camera so that you can read this, but obviously it reminds me of the Star card, which is why I was also getting kind of an introverted vibe, because the Star card can have like an element of that, an element of mystery, but of success and things going your way. So a successful month for you, but I do think there's lots of time that you're going to be spending kind of inwardly, doing inward reflection and introspection as well, and that can be the success that we're talking about, because it can be that you have been successful in your introspection. But here is the card, and these are actually dream cards, but I just like take keywords out for the reading, but you can feel free to pause it and read it if you'd like. This is really interesting because it's making me feel like, with lucid dreams, obviously this is gonna sound so weird, but okay, so with lucid dreams, your dream can be like going down an orchestrated path where like it's pre-scripted, you're just following the narrative of your dream, you don't get to make any choices, the dream is happening to you, you're not actually having a dream. And that can be really scary and really uncomfortable, but then there's those weird moments where you pause and you're like, hang on, the time on that clock doesn't look right, or like, why do I have 7 fingers? And you realize you're in a dream, and then you're able to lucid dream. And then all of a sudden you become the orchestrator of your dream. You suddenly get to make the decisions. You're the one in charge, and usually more often than not, people immediately go straight to like flying, because that's that's what like everyone always goes to, because it's like the most fun thing in a dream. But this is giving to me that you are taking control of your life in February. You're taking back your power, because I feel like you're pulling away from things that were holding you back, and you're starting to kind of open your eyes and recognize what those were. So you're starting to see like a lot of propaganda in the media, and you're starting to be like, okay, you know what, I'm not going to engage with this anymore. You're starting to realize, like, I don't know, maybe your phone's a distraction from the things you actually enjoy doing, and you're going to reduce your phone time. It could be that you've realized over time you've lost some of the hobbies that you love to do, or the passion and energy you needed in order to do those things, and you're like, no, I'm going to bring that passion and that energy back, and I'm going to start those hobbies again. I'm going to read those books again. I'm going to, you know, start drawing again. Whatever it is that you've kind of lost touch with, that you've kind of become ungrounded from, you're going to become grounded again, especially with the meditation, contemplation and peace. I feel like you're reconnecting with what it is that brings you joy. And taking control of your narrative. You're no longer going to be done to, you're going to be the doer. You know, you're not giving NPC energy, you're giving main character energy. You're taking charge of your life for February. But in doing that, you're almost separating yourself from others, which can be quite isolating, which might be why I was getting the introverted energy as well, because when you open your eyes to the things that are going on around you, and then change your life in such a drastic way to where it goes against like the almost cultural norms, because of course if you stop using your phone but everyone else continues to use theirs, you're quite isolated in that sense. No one is experiencing the type of life you're experiencing, and so it can feel isolating to be around people who don't like share those ideologies. So it could be that when you take control of your life, you might feel a little bit more like alone, but that's not a bad thing. That can actually bring you a lot of peace. You're definitely transitioning into something much more spiritual and soulful, and something meaningful and much more grounded about your life as well. You're completely changing and rerouting what your life looked like in the past. Okay, so I think for you, I'm going to use these cards actually. Let me get these. I'm going to use these ones. I've already shuffled them, but I'll shuffle them again just so you can see that I am shuffling, but that I have shuffled them. But I'm going to do it differently today, where I'm just going to pull the card off the top when I want to ask a question. So first I kind of want to ask about your career. Okay, so we have the 9 of Wands here. I feel like you might be like kind of unhappy with, well, I think everyone is, but with the fact that, like, you know, you have to do a job in order to exist, because that might not be like your true calling, and there's like no other way to go about it. And so I can see that you're building up almost a resentment, but with this kind of introspection and seeing things differently, you're actually going to be able to build up barriers, like defensive barriers, that help to kind of protect you from some of that, and from kind of getting bogged down in that and being caught up in the fact that you hate it so much. It's actually going to give you like a new sense of peace, because you're taking control of certain areas of your life, so that when you're doing your thing, doing your job, doing your career, whatever it is, those feelings aren't so strong anymore of that resentment. But it could also be that maybe you're struggling to get into like education, training, or like employment. It could be that you're actually struggling to get into those things, and you're really, really ready to get in, and you're like kind of getting resentful of the fact that it feels like there's no way to kind of get there, no opportunity to get your foot in the door. And this card is kind of warning of making sure that you're not displaying that resentment, even if you feel it. So when you go to like job interviews and things, if you have to explain why you haven't, you know, had a job in a year or two, rather than sort of say that it's because, you know, the job market is shit and you're struggling to get hired, you would say something different, like you wanted to take time to volunteer at so and so to build up your experience before you got in there. So it's something silly and professional that you have to say in order to look professional. Just make sure that the resentfulness isn't going to make you, you know, make any decisions that are going to negatively like impact your career or your job or your bag, you know. So there's that I'm kind of getting for February, is just be cautious of displaying that resentment and being too defensive. Definitely be strong, be ready to like tackle the day, and you know, get your work done and go after a job if you need one, and that's what you're trying to do. But try not to get caught up in those feelings, and also any work drama as well if you are in employment. Okay, so I also wanted to ask about your like hobbies, your side hustles. So we have the Emperor here. So when I say hobbies and side hustles, your hobbies can be things you don't make money from, that you do because you genuinely enjoy them, and then side hustles are ones that you do to make money from. You don't have to put the two together. This is just, I'm just grouping them together so I can talk about both at the same time. But with the Emperor, I definitely see that you're starting something new, because it's Aries energy, and Aries is the first house. It's all about the self, it's all about the start of the journey as well, and being a leader, taking charge, and going into something very impulsively. So I think you might make a lot of impulsive decisions and headstrong decisions when it comes to either your side hustles or your hobbies in February. On top of that, you might be starting new things or completely revamping ways that you used to do it, and because you're in charge, you get to make those decisions because you're the Emperor here. But if you are doing any of these hobbies or side hustles with others, a key element here is also that I think remember to kind of make space for the other people as well, because that's what a good leader would do. They would make space for that person to add their contributions as well. So that's something I was kind of getting there. And I see a lot of success for your hobbies and side hustles as well, because of course it's the Emperor, he's sitting on his throne, you know, this is a successful person. So keep doing what you're doing because it's working well for you. Okay, so I actually wanted to ask about your love life next. So we have the Queen of Wands, which I'm going to place here. So because the way that I'm seeing this is because you're investing a lot in your internal right now and doing that introspection and working on yourself, of course those things build emotional maturity, it, you know, builds your intelligence, and because of that, you know, you're kind of up leveling and people are noticing your attractiveness. People are finding you attractive this month in February. There's also an element of fertility with this card, so if, you know, that's something you're interested in, that's a sort of a theme that's coming up for this month. But for others of you who that doesn't resonate with, it can also just in general mean success, fruitfulness, you know, because when you think of fertility, you think of fruitfulness, which essentially just means reaping what you sow. So like getting what you put into it and things are growing and, you know, improving. So the way that I see that is, if there's something you want in terms of connections, you have to be willing to put the effort in to get them, because you get what you put into it. And on top of that, I'm also seeing that whatever you do put in will be reciprocated, received well, and will blossom very quickly. So it will, whatever it is in terms of like how relationships look to you, whatever it is that looks successful in your romantic life, that could be no connections, that could be connections, it could be open relationships, closed relationships, whatever it is that looks successful to you, that's what's going to be manifesting for you in February. I don't see anybody coming in, but I do see the manifestation happening, and people are finding you attractive this month as well. Okay, so let's also ask about your personal life. So we have the Seven of Swords here, love the bat. Okay, so potentially you may be doing some, how do I phrase it, unethical or like dishonest things to kind of achieve your goals this month, which won't work out well for you, because your whole thing this month is about being more grounded, you know, finding peace and meditating. So the cards are saying that deceiving people and sort of lying and being dishonest to get what you want is not going to go in the way that you think. You'll only be digging a deeper hole for yourself. Of course, that's different to like little white lies, like when you're in a job interview and, you know, as I said, with the whole, why have you been away for 2 years? You have to come up with a professional response. And that's not lying, that's embellishing, okay? But if it comes to other things, like if you're lying here to get what you want, that's not going to work out well for you. And you shouldn't do that. And that's kind of a message that's coming through in your general life. It's just something to be wary of, is to not do that. So that's just something to be wary of there, because it can prevent your success moving forward as well. Okay, so let's see if we can get any last messages for you for February. Oh, dropped on the floor. Okay, so we got jackpot, winning money, got rich, inheritance, unexpected money. Okay, so there might be success for you in terms of your finances. It could be that you've actually found a way to have a better relationship with money this month, or, you know, as the cards are saying, you might get some sort of unexpected income, but things are looking up for you in terms of that. But it can also be wealth in terms of what you've realized. There's so much value in that as well. Okay, so we have a love triangle here, which it says multiple lovers, multiple choices, and as I said, people are finding you attractive this month, so your options might be quite bountiful. You've got a lot of options. People might be talking about that. You might even be the shit talker, especially with this card here. but that's something to watch out from others, but as well to watch and make sure you're not doing as well. And then we also had this card here to watch out for as well, and that could happen because of the triangle situation, but it's just something to be cautious of. And also stop putting so much validity and validation on what other people think of you, because it's not important. So stop digging and stop asking, because the more you ask as well, and the more you're sort of seeking that validation, the more you're showing to that person that you depend on their validation. And a lot of people won't be kind in response to that. They will realize, oh, you want validation from me, and they will put you down. That's just the way people are, don't know why, but that's something to watch out for. Find security within yourself and start turning inwardly and being your own leader and the own navigator of your life, instead of turning to others to direct you. Start directing yourself and taking control back over your life as well. That's what you're going to be doing for February, is regaining your control, taking back your power from others that you've kind of placed into them. Stop putting your eggs in their basket and put them all back in yours as well. So that's what I see for you, pile 2, for February. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello pile 3, welcome to your reading. So you chose the purple labradorite, which I'm going to place here. And let's get into your cards. So these are going to kind of set the foundation for how your month in February is going to go. I absolutely love that you got Storm. It's interesting as well because the Storm card says 25 here, and 2 and 5 make 7. The previous pile 2, also their number when put together created 7, which is the Chariot. So it was all about speed, things happening very quickly for you, which is very interesting. So if you were drawn to pile 2, you might want to check that out. But it also related to pile 1 because pile 1 had the Chariot. So if you were drawn to any of those, probably a sign to check those out as well. But I really love that you got Storm. It's like such a beautiful card. But it says chaos, anger and turbulence. In difficult and turbulent times, remember this too shall pass. You are going to be such a legend. The way that you handle tough times, like in chaos, you're almost going to bring just as much chaos that it almost diminishes the chaos that's being brought to you. Like it almost makes it obsolete because you are like the true chaos creator. So that's one of the energies I'm kind of getting here straight off the bat. And then we also have 2 cards for you for your oracle cards here, because 2 came out. So the first one is about family. So let me hold this up. You can feel free to pause the video and read that if you like. These are actually dream cards, so I'm also going to pull like keywords for your reading. And your second card is animals and the wild. Wild animals. I absolutely love what's coming out for you. I want like a minute to think about it because it could be so many different things, but definitely I'm seeing a lot of turbulence in your family, with your family dynamic. There might be like a lot of trauma there, or a lot of like, you know, mistreatment where people are sort of like, you know, blood is thicker than water, but that's actually not the full saying. And the full saying sort of implies that, or conveys the message that if your family treat you right, then they're your family, regardless of blood. So I see a lot of like tension and chaos here. There might even be some turbulence over like people marrying into the family. So it could be like someone's getting married to somebody that the family doesn't approve of because they may have dated somebody else in the family in the past. Like I'm getting that kind of energy. I'm also getting the energy that the way you see your family is almost different to how you see yourself, and you see them as acting unethical or acting like wild animals, or like, you know, they don't respect boundaries, they don't have much respect for anybody, but they demand it back, and you feel much more civil than them. But there's like this really interesting idea that like if you've had a difficult time with your family, a lot of the times when you look in the mirror and you see their features in your face, because obviously genetically you're connected to them, that can almost make you not like your reflection when you see your reflection. But there's this like important message to that, which is that yeah, they're a part of you, but you can use their power for good, not evil. So in the same way that you're seeing them as like wild animals who are like cruel to everybody, you have some of that wild animal energy within you. And that doesn't mean that you're going to use that for evil, but you're acknowledging that you have that power and you're using it for good. So if they're going to bring the heat, you're going to bring it too. And you only let that wild animal out when it's very much deserved, whereas they are acting on people who are like innocent, if that makes sense. So this is kind of like a really important generational power that you have that I think you're going to be actualizing in February. You're breaking free from them by using their own tools against them. You're not necessarily from them, but definitely from the generational trauma. You're breaking free of it and you're ending it with you. If this doesn't resonate with you, feel free to check out another pile, but that's just the energy that I'm getting here. So let's get into your tarot cards, because I kind of want to know more as well. For you, I might actually use a mix of both the tarot card decks that I've got here. So I might do both. So we've got these ones here, and then these ones as well. So I might actually ask, uniquely for your pile, what's going on with your family. So we have the Six of Wands for what's sort of happening with your family. Lots of like pinky purples going on here. Very stormy colours. You might have been like a black sheep, but you're going to be victorious uniquely in this situation, because you're going to be showing others in your family the way and how to handle these situations. You're almost going to be an inspiration to them, because you're setting a new standard for the way things should go, and you're recreating the way that you interact with people in your families to kind of end generational trauma. So I'm seeing a lot of success for you there. I feel like you're going to be very popular with certain members of your family for the things that you are doing. You're kind of like the knight, you know, the savior, especially with the white horse here. This is like a strong sign of success. So I feel like you're going to handle whatever turbulence and chaos comes your way, particularly with your family, in a way that's really, really positive. You might even be saving your family from something as well, and you're going to be praised for it with all these people cheering in the background and holding up the other ones. You're going to be rewarded for the efforts you're putting in to make the environment less turbulent by handling it and like being a boss, basically. So I want to ask now about your career. Oh, we have the Ace of Swords. So yeah, a lot of success, brand new ideas for your career. You're going to be completely changing the way that you go about it, and this success is going to be happening very fast. You're going to be either deciding like firmly what it is you want to do for a career, or in general you're going to be approaching your current job with, or career path, with like newfound ideas, creativity, and a lot of passion as well. I feel like you're having a bit of a breakthrough, realizing what it is you want to do with your life, and you're finally having the courage to say that to your family as well, and be open about what it is you truly want to do. Like the universe is giving you like a breakthrough to go after what it is you want, and you're seizing that opportunity in February. So let's ask about your side hustles and hobbies. So when I mention side hustles and hobbies, these don't have to be together. So when I talk about hobbies, obviously those are things you do because you enjoy them, not because, you know, not to make money from them. But a side hustle is something you do make money from. So I'm talking about both at the same time, but you don't need to put them together. You can have your hobbies and you can have your side hustles, you know. But we've got the Page of Pentacles, so I'm seeing again a brand new way of you approaching things. So I see you kind of dusting off your old hobbies that you used to enjoy, that you used to have a lot of passion and energy for, and revitalizing that passion and energy and restarting that again. So I can see you going after the hobbies that you used to enjoy, picking those back up and having a lot of success and fun with that and happiness with that. But then for your side hustles, if you have any, I am seeing you turning a new leaf in the way that this is happening for you. So maybe in the past with side hustles there hasn't been a lot of success, but I see that success turning around now. So I do see a lot of success for you in your side hustles because of the way that you're changing your ideas and your creative approach towards it. You're going to be revamping things, putting new spin on things, you know, coming up with a lot more ideas that will be very helpful towards your success. Okay, I want to use these cards now, but I want to ask about your love life. So you have the Seven of Wands here. I see you finding, especially because we've got the Storm card as well, and we've got that 7 again, so I'm getting the Speed of the Chariot. Very quickly you're turning things around and suddenly you're having the power to stand up for yourself in situations. I feel like when it comes to your love life, you have a hard time saying no and setting boundaries, but all of a sudden this flip sort of switches in February, and all of a sudden you're so strong, so powerful, and you're able to stand up to yourself and genuinely, confidently admit when you're not happy with something and when you don't want to do something, and you don't feel guilty about it. You don't have a problem with it. You set that boundary and you say no, and you're cool with that. Like, there's no problems. So I can see you being so much stronger in your love life as well with how you approach things, and you're no longer fighting yourself. You're working with yourself as opposed to fighting and suppressing this inner storm. You're letting yourself kind of come to the forefront and be who you are. So in terms of your general sort of personal life, we have the Page of Pentacles. You're going to be making a lot more practical decisions when it comes to your life in general. And sometimes that means you can't afford to account for other people's feelings in those decisions. You know, like sometimes the best decision for you means, you know, not the best decision for others, but that's not your problem. Like, so for example, standing up to people who are like bullies in your family, not the best for them, but is it good for you and your family, you know, who are getting bullied by them? Yes. Standing up for yourself in your romantic connections, is that fun for them? No. But is it fun for you? Yeah. Is that what you need to do? Yeah. Is it what's going to be doing right by you and no longer fighting yourself on it? Yeah. So sometimes to make the most practical, mature decision, it means you have to surrender to the fact that some people won't be included in that decision and some people are going to be left out and their opinions don't matter in certain situations. And you're recognizing that in February. Like, this person seems so content. I think you're realizing for the first time in your life, you do not have to be a people pleaser and you do not have to think about others when they don't think about you as well. And when it comes to thinking about your life, because it's only yours, so no one else should have an input, and what's best for you, especially in terms of if you want to change your career and go after something different, the only person whose opinion should matter is yours. So that's something that's coming through. Okay, I just want to see if there's like any last messages for you. So I'm getting this card in two ways. So I'm kind of seeing that when you kind of step into your power and you put yourself first and you put yourself almost in the throne, in the front seat, you know, in the leader role, a lot of people can switch up how they were treating you. So they might have been treating you really poorly before, but now that they see that you're confident and you're comfortable without them, they kind of want to pull you back in because they don't want you to feel confident and comfortable without them. So you might, you know, encounter a lot of people who are trying to draw you back into their toxicity, but it's just not going to work. I do also see people kind of bowing down to you because you've embraced your power. Yes, so we have ignoring here. So I definitely feel like you're going to be blocking out the negativity, and when we had here sort of stop worrying about other people when you're making practical decisions for yourself, you're really going to be blocking all of that out. You're going to be blocking out people who are upset when you say no. You're going to be blocking out toxic people from your life. Yeah, and we also had forcer here, people who force what they want into your life and onto you. That's no longer a priority for you. You don't care, because the only way they're able to do that is because of that, you know, inner feelings of guilt, the people pleaseriness, the need to say yes to everything that they put forward. You're changing all of that, and you're finally getting that fire lit under you where you're like, I've had enough of this, like enough is enough, and you're standing up for yourself. So that's kind of what I'm seeing for you for February. I hope you enjoyed your reading, pile 3. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, because it really helps the channel out. And if you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot.